What is up, guys? It is Austin here, and after a very long time, I am bringing back the 10-minute podcast. I took a while to refresh the channel, refresh myself, and I'm feeling pretty good. I'm not sick right now. That's great. Welcome my guest at this time, Mr. SKI himself, Superkick.Inc. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you, sir?
Are you a lunatic?
Yes, I'm a lunatic, and I'm great.
That's that's fantastic. That's inside joke. Anyways, let's get right into it. Um, So I asked this question to all my guests. How'd you decide to become a league?
Well, I came by one day because I've always been a pretty big wrestling fan, and I came by an account called Power of the People Wrestling, and I looked at his edits, and I was like, wow, I want to do this. So at first, I was terrible at editing and making cards, and then I figured out how to, and I got kind of good at it, and I just had fun kind of being my own general manager, and just went from there.
Yeah, that's. I mean, that's great. Um, I think first of all, Power of the People Wrestling is obviously the king of leagues. There's no denying. I don't care if you love him or hate him. He's just the
He's,
best.
he is.
For a guy in his mid third 20s or whatever to be still doing this, that's great. Shout out to him. I'd have him on the podcast if he wanted to, but
Yeah, he's a great guy.
another time. And yeah, that's how most of us come up doing this. We see someone we love doing it, and then we kind of suck in the beginning, but in the end, it all works out.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
So, next question for you: Do you have a favorite match from your league?
Favorite match for my league? I think I would have to go with Cesaro versus AJ Styles at Battleground for my first ever WWE World Title match because it got like 60 likes and like 150 votes or something. So it was two people that were like rivals, really good friends,
Hmm.
and I think they promoted that made it pretty good. And I just thought like everybody was like fighting back and forth with it. Actually felt like a real match with real hype. So I'd say that's probably my favorite.
Absolutely. I can just imagine the hype surrounding that. On top of the fact that it's two guys who promote, obviously have a lot of friends, 150 comments. It's amazing, but on top of that, these are two fan favorites, like in general. So people who don't know, like these people, will still come by this match in their feed and be like, "Damn, that's awesome." So
Yeah,
it's that's
it is.
just sounds
It
great.
really came out.
Okay, where's my list? The list of 3, 4, 1 in his questions. All right, who's
Good man.
winning in real wrestling? Who's winning in the brand wars, and will it be the same way by WrestleMania this year?
I think it's just going to be SmackDown. It has been SmackDown. I think it'll always be SmackDown. It's just because it's more opportunities. It's not the same freaking matches over and over again. I think it's going to continue to be that, especially bringing in Undertaker and AJ Styles and Ambrose, in my opinion, are two of the most talented wrestlers in the world. I mean, no matter what anybody thinks, in my opinion. I think they're going to elevate that way over Raw, which they have been doing, and they're going to continue to through WrestleMania, in my opinion.
Absolutely. It's kind of sad because I love Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho and soon Finn Balor once he returns. And
Oh
it's
my God,
just
same here.
it's just so sad how you want them to be successful, but Raw is not doing great right now.
No.
Um and so hopefully when we have a draft next year, we can see some changes up and we can see maybe Seth Rollins go to SmackDown or AJ Styles go to Raw and reunite the club or something. And I feel like the draft is just going to totally change the face of wrestling. And who knows, Raw could get better. But I think the main ingredient to making Raw better is to switch it back to 2 hours. Once that happens, I think they'll gain a lot of interest again.
I couldn't agree more with that. I can't even like stay up watching Raw because it bores me to death sometimes. Like New Day, I still do think they have a ton of talent, but it's almost like that crazy funny gimmick, which I love, of course. It just keeps going and going, and it seems like they're starting to lack their new gimmick. You know, they're starting to lack like new things to do. It's kind of becoming stale, and I think Charlotte versus Sasha Banks, I think that's got to stop. I mean, they're two very talented wrestlers, of course, but there's only so many times you can see it before you kind of get sick of it.
Absolutely. And Raw drafted all these great talent, and where do we see them now? Main event. Like all these guys. I don't know, like Darren Young, Titus O'Neil. I don't really like them, but at least like you draft them, so use them. Like Neville. That's the guy I was looking for. You
Best example.
you draft these guys and you don't use them, and now with the cancellation of superstars, it's gonna be they're not even gonna be used except for live events and main event.
Yeah, it became a mess. It did, and the little things that could be good, like this past Raw when Chris Jericho should have won the U.S. title, but they had Reigns like Staley just beat him. Like I like Reigns. I have no issue with Reigns, but it was really going to be Owens' first title. Jericho, in my opinion, is one of the most talented wrestlers to ever walk the planet, and he's so great to the point where he deserves another title. And he deserves that Grand Slam title,
It does.
and it was really
Absolutely.
his time.
Absolutely. He's done it all except for the United States title, which is why it made so much sense to drop it from Reigns onto Jericho. Jericho hasn't won a title in like any of his returns since whenever like he hasn't won a title since like ever. I don't know, like 2009 Breaking Point or whatever. I don't even remember. It's just been it's been so long that I wasn't even watching wrestling when he held the title. So it's time for him to receive what he's earned by working so hard, and he's definitely shown that he's been working hard over the last year.
Oh my God! Like all of a sudden now he's like one of my favorite wrestlers. I used to kind of dislike him. I know it sounds crazy, but all of a sudden now, whenever I watch him, I'm entertained. Like boom, it's like Owens I love too, but it's not going in the right direction for Raw because they're just making bad decisions, and
If
that's really what I think. Now I have a question for you, Austin.
Yeah,
A very important
we'll
question.
throw these in right now. Go ahead.
I know that you're just like a very like just WWE, basically don't watch anything else a lot. But if you were to commit to another wrestling brand to watch with WWE, what would it be?
Ring of Honor.
Oh yeah, Ring of Honor is great.
I
I've been to an event; it was great.
I haven't been to one. I would say Lucha Underground because that's where my favorite John Morrison is. But at the same time, he could just as easily break his contract and go to Ring of Honor like a lot of other superstars have done, like Cody Rhodes, and I think Drew McIntyre's been there a couple times in the past year. And it's just like it's so crazy. Everything there is just like perfect. You've got all these guys that would be stars in WWE and are turning down these contracts because they know that they will be treated a million times better in Ring of Honor. And I just love that.
It's Ring of Honor just graces. It's just one of the really great things in pro wrestling, in my opinion. And like even though I'm not a huge fan of Kyle O'Reilly, but I don't know if anybody watches the final battle event. That's like the biggest event. Kyle O'Reilly beat Adam Cole. He made Adam Cole tap out to win the title. I mean, it was a pretty great moment just for Ring of Honor.
Mm,
And I love Adam Cole, and it was one heck of a match. Having Cody turn heel on Lethal it was like a genius event almost to like flip off Raw like in a way. I know it sounds
the
weird.
entire event was so unpredictable and so unexpected. I figured Adam Cole's got this in the bag. He's like the main star of Ring of Honor now. They're not gonna just like drop the title that Lethal's been holding for like almost over a year, I think, or whatever. Like they dropped it really fast to Kyle O'Reilly, so that was unexpected. Cody turning heel was unexpected. Like they throw these things out there that like you wouldn't expect.
It just makes the sport enjoyable. I'm
It,
sorry, and that's what WWE's been lacking. They put surprise moments that people do not enjoy, and they've been lacking the surprise moments that people really do like. Like Jericho winning that title, people will be all of a sudden like, "Oh, this is great. Raw's been awesome so far." And that's all it really takes is like one good match. For example, TLC, it really wasn't that great of a pay per view to be honest. But the Wyatts taking the belts, that made like 50% of people say, "Oh my god, that was an amazing pay per view." 10 out of 10. Like that's
that
what one really good
and
match can do.
Bliss, you gotta count Bliss too, because she's
Oh,
like
Bliss is great. Oh yeah,
people
definitely.
people are like, oh, Becky's got this in the bag. She's one of the four horsewomen. No one can beat them, right? They're undefeatable. Yeah. Try again because Bliss just did it. So
Oh yeah, I know it must have been a markout moment for you. I really
absolutely.
like. Alexa Bliss, but my favorite, of course, is Nikki Bella because it
Absolutely.
was it was great. It was great, Austin. It was at a surprise to how she power bombed her through that table. I thought that was a really good spot.
It was.
But yeah, yeah.
Okay. So why is Naito your favorite wrestler? And I wanna hear this.
Tetsuya Naito,
Yeah. Now I
De
see.
Los.
I don't even know how to pronounce it because I just don't watch indie wrestling. So my
Yeah,
apologies.
well, it's no problem. First off, it's Tetsuya Naito from Los Ingobernables de Japón. And the reason why I think he's the greatest wrestler is because if you've ever watched him in New Japan, he is the perfect heel. Like anybody could learn from him how great of a heel he is. He literally takes like an hour to get to the ring. He stays in the suit and mask. He bugs the other wrestler. He knocks out the referee sometimes. He spits in the other wrestlers' faces. He'll walk outside the ring after a lot of tension builds up. He's perfect in my opinion. He has like this kind of like crazed look sometimes. He does, and his faction, Los Ingobernables, they're the perfect heel faction. Now they brought in this guy named Rush. I don't know if you know him, Rush.
Yeah.
Anyways, he's one hell of a wrestler too. I mean, he came from CMLL and all this stuff, and he was the founder and everything. And they're building up an empire in New Japan that I haven't seen even the Bullet Club do.
Oh, that's great. Okay. The good answer. Good answer. I respect that. He's like, you could say he's like one of those heel. He's like got everything that all the heels in WWE have rolled into one guy, and that's him.
Definitely. But I have actually a pretty funny story about how I became a huge fan of him. So at first, of course, I was like every fake New Japan fan when I liked Kenny Omega, and I still like him, but I was like, oh yeah, IWGP is the best and all that stuff, that horrible fans say. And then all of a sudden, I started watching this guy who caught my eye. It's like, oh, this guy named Naito, like, and I was just like, oh wow, he's awesome. So then I started getting interested. And I started looking up. Oh, this guy named Okada, he's amazing. I started watching NJPW World, and I started like really getting in depth with it. And now I'm a pretty big fan of New Japan. I think it's the best wrestling on the planet, to be honest.
I think New Japan, they're definitely growing, and they're going to be a superpower. I don't think they'll ever reach WWE level only for the fact that they'd need American commentary. If they got American commentary, and they got on an American network, I think they could reach that length. But I don't think they're there yet, and they can be. Um, and they've built a lot of stars over the years for WWE. And they still are. I mean, it's crazy.
It's all about promotion, my friend. You're so right because WWE, they have all this stuff. They do have an American commentary team. There's Jim Ross, there's Mauro Ranallo. They do, but they're on this network called Access TV, and it's not super popular when it comes to like pro wrestling fans knowing about it. So they don't get the publicity, of course. Plus, they're in Japan. That's another thing. They're super huge in Japan, but they're not as huge in America, which is obviously understandable. But for what they do and the sounds and like the boom they make in professional wrestling, I think if they had WWE's promotion, they would soar over them times 1,000.
Yeah. Okay. Um. Okay. So I don't know if any of you know this, but Joey and I are, SKI are in this, and I are in this chat called the Wrestling Club with a bunch of people like CWA, um, EWF, Always, and a bunch of other people. And it's very unique. We have a bond we formed, and it's absolutely amazing. Why do you think it's so special, in your opinion?
Because it's just a bunch of guys that like wrestling. They're a bunch of guys that are real fans of pro wrestling. They look at it like it's an actual art. It's not fake or dumb. They realize it's actually just scripted. And it's like a piece of art when two men put on a 5-star match or two women put on a 5-star match. We feel that and we talk to each other and we're nice to each other and we build a bond on this professional wrestling that a lot of people can't. And it's just something special just in itself, in my opinion.
I think we've formed a bond that's so close that even like we can disagree on certain things and make each other understand our points, and then we'll all still like be happy about like what we've said. And it's like we've only had like one incident of like actual fighting, but that's over now because they both left the chat, so it's peaceful again.
Yeah, the supposed hacking. Okay, not
Another
anything to
story
get
for
into.
another time. So now is your time. If you have any questions for me, I told you to write some down, so have at it.
Okay, okay, Austin. So that was like my main question to go at. So the next thing I want to talk about is something that a lot of professional wrestling fans like to shudder over, and that's TNA. What are your feelings on Impact Wrestling?
That's a great question.
I know.
I really I want to like Impact Wrestling. I really do. But they need some change and they need change soon because they every month their pay-per-views are like they may not have because they're bankrupt. They're like they need change. I don't know what it is for some things, but like for I don't know. Like they need it's all about the promotion like we said about NJPW. Like they need to be on a network that's more reputable than Destination America because I don't even have that. Well, actually,
Pop
it's
TV
on
now.
Pop TV now. Exactly. I
Yeah.
don't have Pop TV, so how am I supposed to watch it other than streaming online? And you know, and there's other things that they could do away with, like the six-sided ring. It's nice. I'm not a fan. I think it should be four-sided because that's just how traditional wrestling is. Um, but they do have some good things that I really like. How they're a proving ground for stars who can't make it in the WWE. I like how they have their own unique championships in their own style, like the Grand Impact Championship, where it's like 3 rounds and stuff. I really do like that, and how they're trying to be their own brand, and it's great, but it's not there yet, and it was there at one point, and it's just fallen back down, and I don't want to see them go out of bankruptcy, but if they're not willing to fix some things, it might be time.
You know what? I mean, I think your opinions is more sound than most people because a lot of people are like, oh, it's dumb, it's terrible, bankrupt. I see a lot of potential in it because you got guys like Aaron Rocks, who I've always been a huge fan of. Drew Galloway, I mean,
Drew
that's your
Galloway,
guy.
that's
Always been a giant fan of. One of my favorites. Ethan Carter the third. Derek Bateman, that
yeah.
guy. Anyway, so I mean, they got some potential, but this legal crap, all the stuff that's been going on about it, it's just is kind of ruining it. And the channel they're on is absolute. I mean, sometimes it can just be. It has a definite lack of promotion. I'd have to say, and sometimes the broadcasting is terrible on there. Sometimes the footage lags. There was one time where like one of their specials called Gold Rush. It was completely just all commercials because they couldn't produce it thanks to like errors with their editing system. So,
Mhm.
I mean, there's been a lot of stuff to go on. But if they had money behind them, I think it would be huge. That's what
Absolutely.
I think.
You can just take an example of Broken Matt Hardy, right?
Oh my God.
Broke
Delete.
he is the best thing in pro wrestling right now just because
Definitely.
he's been able to transform his gimmick completely on his own. He's had no one telling him what to do. He's had no strings from WWE creative or whatever. He's had full reign, full control on what he wants to do, and he goes out there every single time and does it. And that to me is amazing. And he's just so popular. It's just amazing.
Oh, I love Matt Hardy. Oh my God. One of my favorites, definitely, right now. If they take the ROH tag titles too, I would absolutely go nuts. Even though I'm a huge Bucks of Youth fan personally, I mean they're great and everything, but if they became double champions between TNA and Ring of Honor, that'd be so cool, in my opinion.
I know it's your opinion and it's a great opinion, honestly.
Thank you.
All right, next question if you get one.
Okay, so Austin, I have to ask you. I just, I, I'm sorry. I have to. Okay. This is kind of a weird question, but if okay, Alexa Bliss. I know you're like a giant fan of her and
Hmm.
everything, but if if she were to drop her title to anyone, Who would you choose her? Who would you choose to take the belt from her? Anybody on the current SmackDown Live women's roster?
Um, let's see. You got Becky, Naomi, Nikki, Carmella. Um, forgetting someone. Natalia. Oh yeah, who? What? Natalia? What? And
I know.
Eva Marie. As much as I don't like her, I think the next person that's gonna take the title, if Bliss doesn't take it back, is going to be Nikki Bella. They're building her up. I mean, they had her miss the Survivor Series match just plain because they didn't want her to take a loss. That's kind of petty in my opinion, but that's creative's fault. They don't even know what they're doing anymore. Um, like they build her up so high, and honest, oh, she, as much as I don't like her, she's also a great wrestler. Some people don't like to admit that, but she's got the strength of any woman that we've seen before, like Charlotte, Beth Phoenix. She's got the same strength, just presented in different ways.
Yes. I mean, I like Nikki to take the belt too because I just love Nikki Bella. That's my thing.
Mm.
I don't know how to say it, but I just wanted to hear that from you. And I think my final question to wrap everything up is the Universal title. This piece of crap. I'm just kidding. But who do you think should take the belt from Kevin Owens in the near future? Not.
Um,
I mean, I'm hoping you're not going to say Roman Reigns because if you do, that'll be so irritating. But yeah, I'm listening.
the only way I'd say Roman Reigns is if someone was gonna take it from him the very next night on Raw. I would have to go with, I think that they'll bring Finn Balor back and truly let him see his justice. He only had a 7 day. No, it wasn't even 7 days. It was like 1 day run with the belt. So, and he won the belt fair and square, and he's so over. He is a perfect face to take on the perfect heel of Kevin Owens. They could build that to Mania if they wanted to. If Finn Balor's ready, I would love to see it, and I think he could do it.
I love Finn too, and I think that's very respectful. I think that'd be great. I think Finn. When I heard about that injury, I was so sad. I mean, it was terrible. But yeah, I think your opinion. I think it's on the right track. I think that's a pretty good idea.
Unpopular opinion for the near future. It doesn't have to be that he's gonna win it off of Owens because that's way too soon. But I would definitely like to see Cass split from Enzo, and Cass would go on and win the Universal Championship.
Oh my god, I love Cass. I think Cass is great.
Cass is
And
great. Enzo, he's like Road Dogg. He's a master of the mic, but he sucks in the ring.
that's I don't really like him. Something about him. I mean, complete respect to everything about him. I mean, he's great. But I'm not a giant fan of him, and I think Big Cass is great. Like that's just my opinion. And yeah, that's how I see it.
Couldn't agree more. All right. Well, this 10-minute podcast has turned into a 23-minute podcast. I don't care. It's great. And
Yeah,
yeah,
it's like just me. Like I'm a lunatic. That's great.
I'm
That's
a,
exactly
I gotta
like that.
count how many times we say that in the video.
Probably, I don't even know.
I don't even know. Either. So, I'm gonna let you go. Coming up on this channel though, I want to talk about like my Black Friday stuff that I bought, and in the near future, in the next coming weeks, I want to do a Slammy Awards, which is like I'll take all the topics that they're gonna use, plus throw in a couple of my own based on like my account on Instagram, and I'll be
I
wearing a
better win. Okay, I'll see you.
I'll
Awesome.
be I'll
As
be
soon as
wearing a suit and everything. So till then, peace out, guys.